What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some entertaining battles in the Little Halloween Cup, and I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but genuinely these battles were very fun to watch. The team was submitted by Zerwolder, who's running triple Shadows with Grimer, Gollet and Cacturn. I think for the first few battles Shadow Cacturn was single moved, but I think eventually it was double moved to have Dynamic Punch and Trailblaze. Now aside from the fact that this is a really attack weighted triple Shadow team, the other reason these battles were actually quite enjoyable to watch is because there just weren't that many battles up against the infamous Shuckle and Marrow core, and I don't know if it's due to the trainer's elo range or if they decided to cut out a lot of those battles knowing it would be pretty boring, or if there's been a drastic meta shift in the past few days. I personally haven't played in like the past 3 days, so either way, as a result, these battles are much more fast paced, and there's also a ton of variety on show from the opponents, which gives us a glimpse of what this meta could have been if Niantic just fought it through for 2 seconds and banned those top 2 Pokemon. But anyways, with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. Now this is a very odd question of the day, but it was requested by the submitter of these battles, so here it is. Since people actually eat and hunt Pokemon canonically, which Pokemon would you enjoy eating the most? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Let's go into the first battle, leading Shadow Grimer into Greavard. So this is probably a fairly neutral matchup here, but we're going to swap into our Shadow Cacturn, and we're able to get the full Sucker Punch farm down before they can react, and actually they come in with a Drifloon just to be farmed down as well, and the reason for that is because they're running a triple Ghost team. Shadow Cacturn absolutely licking his lips right now, not able to get the full farm down though, because it goes down to resistant Mud Slaps, but we come in with the Shadow Gollet and we get the Astonish farm down. So there's an example of just how fast paced this meta could have been if we just got rid of Shuckle and Marrow. But either way, into the next battle, going to be safe swapping into our Shadow Cacturn. I think this trainer did mention that for the most part they safe swapped into their Shadow Gollet, but of course these past couple of battles can't really swap a Gollet into Pokemon with Ghost type fast move pressure. But either way, we get a shield with the Trailblaze, boosting up the attack there. I think the safe play is just to shield this as they go for a charge move. The opponent goes for a Water Pulse, which is very interesting. I don't really know why you'd run Water Pulse, but either way, they come in with the Shadow Gollet, they get the Mud Slap farm down, but we're able to get the Astonish farm down, and we can Astonish farm down the Fungus to take that game. So going into the next battle, going to see Skorupi in the lead. So of course, this is a fairly neutral matchup here. Honestly, I don't really know what Grimer's stats are for this league. I don't know if we can take an Aquatel fairly well or not. But either way, we're going to swap into our Shadow Gollet. Unfortunately, just barely not able to get the full farm down there before the opponent makes it to a Shadow Punch. So they're going to shield that up, but we do get the farm down, and they don't even get an extra Mud Slap off, which is very nice because we are still fairly healthy. They're going to come in with a Tackle Marrow, and this is actually not that bad of a matchup for us. They have to throw a charge move to get rid of us, and we are already loaded with energy. We make it to back-to-back Shadow Punches. The second one should be grabbing a shield here. We're going to swap into our Shadow Cacturn, trying to force the opponent to throw their energy, but instead they bank the energy. They come into the Skorupi, but we're able to make it to a Trailblaze. Trailblaze grabs the final shield, and at this point we can come in with our Gollet, just force the opponent to throw their energy here, and of course Aquatel will be enough to get the KO, but we can come back in with the Grimer, get the Mud Slap farm down, coming out with a Sludge Bomb loaded, and as a result, Sludge Bomb will be enough to take out the Marrow, and we're able to take that game. In the next battle, we're going to see an Inkay in the lead, so we are going to swap out straight away into our Shadow Gollet, and the opponent will stay in initially, then swapping into a Shadow Drapion. So very interesting here, of course. If we were running Mud Slap, we could absolutely destroy this thing, but the opponent did take a while to realize we were running Astonish, so they swap into their Dark type Pokemon. They go for an Aquatel there, but that's absolutely okay. We can just come in with our Grimer and go for one Mud Slap, taking out the Drapion. They come back in with the Inkay. They've got so much loaded energy here, so at this point we are going to no shield, just fully sacrifice the Grimer, putting it all on the Shadow Cacturn. They do make it to another charge move, but they throw at the last second so we can shield that. They go for Psybeam for some reason, and they've got a Shadow Gollet in the back. We're able to go for that Sucker Punch farm down, get in that farm down instantly, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we see Fungus in the lead, and we're going to swap out, but quite late there. I'm not really sure why, because we've actually allowed them to make it to back-to-back Body Slam. So shielding the first one, are we going to double shield here? No, we're not. And unfortunately, Body Slam will fully one-shot the Cacturn there. and that might have been a pretty big mistake. But either way, going to come back in with the Grimer, and you can see they've got a Shadow Drifloon in the back, so going to completely wall the energy, but a Sludge Bomb still does like 80% of their HP there. We can get the Astonish farm down, and they come in with their own Shadow Gollet, but unfortunately 3 Astonishes just barely not enough damage to get the KO there. It ends up being a simultaneous KO, but they still had a Pokemon alive in the back. Either way, into the next battle, going to see a Grimer mirror match this time around. We're going to shield up as they go for a Sludge there. We're just going to blind throw a Sludge Bomb, and I think they came in with a Decidueye, and it is a Decidueye, so we can come in with our Cacturn. Look at that damage. You can see the opponent tries to quit, but they're not even able to do it fast enough before they get fully farmed down there, and the opponent does eventually concede the match. But into the next battle, we're going to see a Primarina running Waterfall in the lead. Honestly, I'm really enjoying the variety we're seeing so far. We are going to go for the charge move there, then coming in with our Cacturn, realizing the opponent going to throw a charge move. Even if they go for Hydro Cannon, honestly, that's going to one-shot us, so use a shield there, and as a result, we get the the resisted Sucker Punch farm down. They're going to come in with Yamask, and we're actually able to farm down the Yamask with our Shadow Gollet. That is very interesting. We can now go for the Shadow Punch grabs the shield, and obviously not a great matchup for us, but the Sucker Punch damage is absolutely shredding up against this Nidorina. We can just shield, they go for a Dig for some reason, so we're also going to go for a BM, go for a Dynamic Punch for no reason whatsoever, other than the fact that we can, and so we take out the Nidorina, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we're going to see a Shadow Gollet in the lead, so we say swap into our own Gollet, and we get the full farm down there. The opponent probably didn't realize we were running Astonish and not Mud Slap, so we're able to come out with a Brick Break loaded. The opponent actually no shields that, which is okay. We're going to wait out our Switch Clock as we are Switch Locked, whilst the opponent didn't actually swap out of that matchup, and they can now swap, unfortunately, into Skorupi, which isn't very good for us. But we're going to shield this up. Hopefully we can swap out in time, but it doesn't look like it, so we're going to have to fire off a Trailblaze. Trailblaze is going to be double resisted by Skorupi, but honestly, yeah, I can understand why they shielded that. That would put them into Sucker Punch farm down range. So we're going to swap into our Grimer. Going to try and go for the Mud Slap farm down. We're not able to get it, but we will just let the Grimer go down here. Hopefully Cacturn can go for a full farm down up against the rest of the team, but it's going to be very close to come back in with Inkay. They fire off the charge move. Night Sash doesn't get a boost. We get the farm down, but we just don't have enough HP, and it's going to be a simultaneous KO there. I don't think the opponent was at 1 HP. Otherwise, maybe you could have thrown a charge move there, but a simultaneous KO isn't that bad. Into the next battle, we're going to see Dino in the lead. We're going straight for Mud Bomb here, throwing on the CMP tie, winning CMP, and grabbing a shield. And at this point, we're going to let the Grimer go down. As the opponent goes for a Body Slam, it's a little bit risky just because we've only got resisted fast move damage, but we're still able to get the farm down there with the Astonishes. And we're going to see a Wooper coming in. Are they running Mud Shot there? We're going to go straight for a Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch grabs a shield, and we are able to make it to a second Shadow Punch. Honestly, this might get the KO here. Shadow Punch does get the KO. We'll swap into our Cacturn, and they've got a Poison Sting Tentacle. And honestly, these Poison Stings look like poison jabs. They're dealing huge damage, but we will be able to make it to a Trailblaze. They debuff our attack with the Bubble Beam, but it doesn't matter. This will still be enough to get the KO up against the Tentacle, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we can see Spinarak in the lead, so this is going to be a fairly neutral matchup there, but the opponent's going to swap into a Wooper, and they are running Mud Shot once again. So we're going to come in with our Cacturn, shield that up, they go for a Dig, which is a bit weird, but maybe they're running, I don't know, a Poison Nuke Charge move instead of Body Slam, I don't know, but either way, going to go and fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze grabs the shield there, they're actually running Bug Bite, so they're able to take us out instantly. Luckily, we do get off that charge move though, grab a shield, and we're able to make it to a Mud Bomb, grabbing the final shield from the Spinarak, and they come in with a Shuckle. So we can come in with our Gollet, and this is a pretty good matchup for us, especially when they swap into it, because now we can just go for Brick Break, debuffing their defense. These Astonishes are going to start to chunk, and we're actually going to no-shield this. They can only throw resisted charge moves. Oh, never mind. They can go for a Gyro Ball, which is pretty unlikely for most Shuckles to be running in this meta, but I guess a few of them are, and we're going to go for a Shadow Punch here. We should just barely make it to another Shadow Punch, and if this doesn't KO, it will at least put them into Mud Slap farm down range, and we're going to come in with our Grimer, get the snipe with that Mud Slap. They're going to go and fire for charge move, but we still got a shield in play, so we can just use this shield. They go for Cross Poison. We're able to get the Mud Slap farm down, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we can see Shuckle in the lead this time around. I believe the Shuckle is quite under-leveled, as it does reach, I think, at least 100 more CP than this one has currently got. But either way, going to go for a Mud Bomb there. Mud Bomb does some decent damage. We're able to make it to a second Mud Bomb. That might have been a CMP tie there, and Mud Bomb is actually going to grab a shield. No, it wasn't a CMP tie. I think the opponent might just be lagging here, but either way, we're going to no shield. The opponent goes for the Stone Edge. Stone Edge doesn't quite take us out, but that's okay. We don't really want to swap out of that matchup just because Gollet has a very good matchup here, whilst Cacturn is actually going to take a lot of damage from those rock throws. But either way, gonna no shield as the opponent goes for a Stone Edge once again. Are we committing to a full farm down? No, we're actually going to go and fire off a Brick Break, which seems a little bit unnecessary there. I guess we didn't want to get too low, but at the same time, we do waste 40 energy, which was a little bit unnecessary. But either way, they're going to come in with a Clodsire. We go straight for Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch grabs a shield, and they've got a Tackle Marrow. So this is actually fine with us. But once again, we are going to double resist the tackle damage. They have to land an Aqua Tail, but we're going to swap and catch it onto our Shadow Cacturn. Very nice play. Aqua Tail going to be resisted. Honestly, they might be able to tackle farm us down, though, which would not be ideal. But the opponent does end up throwing their charge move. So I think that's definitely best case scenario for us. We can now come back in, go for a slight overfarm. We don't need to overfarm by too much. Just go straight for the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch gets the KO. And of course, up against this Clodsire, I would just consider overfarming, go for at least one extra Astonish, then fire off the charge move before we go for it here. And actually, no, we're going to farm up 2 back-to-back Shadow Punches, just in case this doesn't do enough damage, but it still gets the KO anyways. We're able to take up the Clodsire, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we can see a Azumarill in the lead, which is very interesting. Definitely not a Pokemon you might expect in the Little Halloween Cup. Obviously, when we see the Halloween Cup next week in the Great League, or at least in the next few days, as it's just a few days away actually, we might see some more Azumarill, although I still don't think it's that great for the Halloween Cup. But either way, going to play out the one shield scenario, it looks like. I'm going to go and fire off the Mud Bomb just before they make it to the next charge move. Mud Bomb gets the KO, and they're going to come in with a Purloin. So Purloin, honestly, not that great for us, but we are also dealing resisted damage with our Sucker Punches here. Gonna shield up the Night Slash, hopefully no boost, and the opponent does not boost. We don't need to go for Dynamic Punch here. We can go straight for the Trailblaze, and I don't expect the opponent to shield at this point, so Trailblaze gets the KO. They come in with a Fortress, and we are able to get huge damage off with the Sucker Punches. We don't have any shields in place, so this is just going to be a Mirror Shot though. Mirror Shot does honestly a lot of damage there, but we get the Astonish farm down, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, dealing huge damage up against this Drapion, as they probably weren't expecting Mud Slap as the fast move. We can shield up the Crunch there, commit to a full farm down, we get the farm down, and they're going to come in with a Gollet, so we swap into our own Gollet, and again, another Tackle Marrow, which is pretty good to see here. If they're running Bubble, they can probably just Bubble farm us all the way down, but as I've mentioned already, we can now double resist the fast move damage. We're actually going to let this move go through as they go for the Aqua Tail. We're going to come back in with our Grimer, over farming, gonna fire off the Sludge Bomb here just before they make it to the next charge move. Sludge Bomb gets the one shot there. They come back in with the Gollet, and this is game over. Of course, gonna be grabbing a shield from the opponent. We can swap into our Cacturn, get the snipe with the Sucker Punch damage, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we can see Skorupi in the lead, so the opponent's going to Safe Swap into a Dino, and we do have a slight energy advantage, as it does take one turn to swap out, so we're going to go straight for the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb grabs the shield, and honestly, we kind of needed that extra Mud Slap to go through. Unfortunately, it doesn't, but we can come in with our Gollet, and the opponent, it looks like they lagged there, so either way, they're going to go and fire off the Crunch, and they come in with their own Gollet. We can come in, get the snipe with the Cacturn once again, and I think we're pretty close to a charge move on our Gollet. We're going for Dynamic Punch. Both charge moves here are going to be double resisted, but either way, they're probably going to grab a shield, and we were just one away. So at this point, we probably could live on Aqua Tail here, but we're going to play it safe, use the shield, go for an extra Astonish just because we can, and now Shadow Punch will definitely get the KO up against Skorupi, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we can see Clodsire in the lead, so this is a great matchup for us. They're going to Safe Swap into Shadow Drapion and get instantly deleted by the Mud Slap damage, and then just concede the match there. Into the next battle, we're going to see an Igglybuff in the lead, so this is also a very interesting pick here. They're going to be running Feint Attack as the fast move, and probably Swift now that it did get buffed. Obviously, Igglybuff, if you have played it previously, Body Slam used to be the preferred bait move there because it was better, but now Swift is actually a little bit better than Body Slam. Either way, we're going to swap into our Gollet there, and the opponent comes in with a Marini, I forgot what it was called there. We go for an undercharge just because I guess we figured Shadow Punch wouldn't quite take them out there, so I don't mind that play whatsoever. And then we can come out with nearly a Brick Break loaded. Of course, the Shadow Punch and the Astonish is going to be double resisted. Brick Break does some decent damage, and it allows us to farm them down there, and they've got a Clodsire in the back. So of course, I'm going to go straight for the Trailblaze here. Trailblaze should be grabbing the final shield. It will boost our attack, and honestly, if they don't throw a charge move here, we will put them into Astonish farm down range. So this game is absolutely over. They can throw a charge move, but they're not at back-to-back Sludge Bombs. We can go for one extra Astonish, get the farm down up against the Clodsire, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, not very good lead, so we're going to say swap into our own Shadow Golem, and the opponent comes in with an Infestation Skorupi, which is definitely not the right play there. Infestation, honestly, not that bad with energy generation, but Poison Sting still going to be better, and Poison Sting does do more damage, and just in general, the bug typing isn't really ideal in terms of like offensive capabilities. It is, I think, the typing resisted by the most other typings in the game, which is definitely not ideal. Either way, both Poison Sting and the bug typing of the Infestation would be resisted by Gollet, so it doesn't really make a difference too much there. But either way, we can come in with our Shadow Cacturn, and they've got a Shuckle in the back. So going straight for Trailblaze, gonna boost up our attack here. They're probably gonna no-shield the first one, which does make an awful lot of sense. Never mind, they've got no shields remaining, so I don't know what I'm talking about there. Obviously, they're not gonna shield when they have no shields in play. This time, I think Dynamic Punch would be the right play, and we do full send the Dynamic Punch. So Dynamic Punch coming through, does big damage there. They still get the Rock Throw farm down, but we can snipe them with the Shadow Grimer, come out with a Mud Bomb loaded, gonna throw it straight away into the Gollet coming back in, getting the KO, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, a shiny Shadow Golbat in the lead, a bit of a core breaker to the team. We're actually just going to stay in here. Bit risky to swap out into our Gollet, just in case if they swap out, then obviously going to line our Cacturn up against this thing. We go for the Mud Bomb, grab a shield. We're not going to bother shielding up against that Poison Fang. Hopefully we can farm down, and we do get the Astonish farm down there, which is very nice. They then come in with Purloin, another pretty tricky Pokemon to deal with. Unless they just no-shield the Brick Break, then we can snipe there. Actually, the opponent does just barely swap out of that matchup. We're not even able to throw a charge move there. Well, I don't think it's going to matter too much. I think that probably would have helped us a lot, because at this point, we can just commit to a farm down and then throw a charge move to take out the Purloin. But if we can live one Sucker Punch, then we should be okay here. It's going to be very close, but we do hang on. We live the one Sucker Punch. What the Astonish damage actually takes out the Purloin there, despite being resisted, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, pretty similar situation, unfortunately, as we see a Zubat this time around. They go for Poison Fang there. I believe Zubat does have access to Swift, which would have been better as it's not resisted, but either way, we're going to go for the Mud Bomb, once again grabbing a shield from a flying type Pokemon, but honestly from that range it probably would have got the KO. Knowing that they're going to be running Poison Fang and likely Swift, we're going to no-shield this. They then come in with a Mandibuzz, and typically this would be an awful matchup in the Great League, but because the CPs are so low, honestly in the 2-shield scenario, we can just go straight Trailblaze, boost up our attack, and fully Sucker Punch farm them down. Also, they go for Dark Pulse for some reason. I don't know why they're doing that. That makes no sense whatsoever. Maybe it's a single move Mandibuzz, in which case then fair play, but still doesn't make an awful lot of sense. Either way, we get the farm down there, going for a resisted, well, double resisted Trailblaze, but we're double boosted. Trailblaze gets the KO. They come in with a Mud Shot Wooper, and look at that Sucker Punch damage. We get them very low. They do make it to a Body Slam. Body Slam doesn't get the KO there. I guess they must have undercharged that, realizing it was game over, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we can see Wooper in the lead this time around, and this is a great matchup for us. It looks like they're running Poison Jab as the fast move this time around, though. So we're going to shield this up here. The opponent does full send the dig. That's okay. They're going to come in with a Charm Alola Ninetales. So again, a lot of variety we're seeing. Not a big fan of Charmers, but it's at least it's a nice change from the many Shuckle that we've seen in other battles that we've done ourselves. But either way, we're going to shield this up here, and I think we can commit to a full Astonish farm down. The opponent's actually going to swap into their own Grimer running Mud Slap, but we can just come in with our Shadow Cacturn. The opponent will make it to a charge move. They go for Sludge. Sludge gets the KO. We go for a full farm down, though. We come out with a Shadow Punch loaded, and of course, from this range, Shadow Punch will easily take out the Ninetales, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we're going to see a Gollet in the lead once again. So we're going to say swap into our own Shadow Gollet, and the opponent responds with an Ariados. So we're going straight for Shadow Punch here. Shadow Punch is going to be no-shielded. It gets the one-shot there. We get the Astonish farm down, and they've got a Golurk in the back. So we're able to Astonish farm down the Golurk as well, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, you can see Inkate in the lead, so we're going to say swap into our Shadow Golem, and the opponent comes in with a Bite Skull Tank, and we are just barely not able to make it to a charge move. That is very unfortunate, but we can come in with our Grimer, go for a full Mudslap farm down, taking them out instantly as well, and if they come back in with the Inkate, we will at least make it to a Mud Bomb, which isn't too bad. Mud Bomb is going to grab a shield from the opponent. They do fully Sidewave farm us down, but we can come in with our Shadow Cacturn, and it might be double Bite in the back, so if that is the case, maybe we've got some play, and it is the case because they come in with a Bite Snubble. We're going straight for Trailblaze here. Trailblaze are going to be no-shielded by the opponent, and at this point we can of course just go for a full Sucker Punch farm down, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, another Dino in the lead, so once again, probably just going to go straight for that Mud Bomb there, winning CMP as well, which is very nice. Probably going to grab a shield here. We do grab that shield. Again, are we just going to let the Grimer go down? It looks like it, and it makes sense because if we do shield that, then of course the Dragon Breath damage will outpace us before we get a Mudslap farm down anyways. But again, we come out with a charge reloaded. They come in with Shuckle. We swap into our Shadow Cacturn. We're able to bait out a Tentacle, and honestly, this might be pretty good for us because now we can go for the Trailblaze. Trailblaze boosting up the attack. We actually get a simultaneous KO, and now we can permanently debuff this Shuckle's defense with a Brick Break. We do have some play here. It will be close, of course. Shuckle is very, very bulky here, but we can, of course, shield. At this point, if I was the opponent, I definitely wouldn't throw any charge moves. I would just commit to a full Rock Throw farm down, but either way, gonna go fire off the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch is, of course, gonna do more damage now that they're debuffed, and it looks like another CMP tie, in which case that is a huge mistake from the opponent there. They should be committing to a Rock Throw farm down, and as a result, by throwing two charge moves there, we're actually able to get the Astonish farm down up against the Shuckle, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we see Grimer into Togetic, and the opponent swaps into Wooper, a big mistake. We're able to make a very nice catch though, catching a double resisted Body Slam onto our Shadow Golem, and we can go for a full farm down as well. So very nice play there, making the catch. They come in with a Purloin, and we kind of need to land the Brick Break here. Brick Break is going to be shielded, which is definitely not ideal, but we do debuff their defense regardless. We can come in with our Cacturn, and we're actually going to no-shield here. So the opponent's going to go for a Play Rough, which definitely gets the KO there. Honestly, Night Sash probably takes us out as well, and at this point we're running Sludge instead of Sludge Bomb. I don't really know at what point we swapped that move, but either way, Sludge will help us here as it is slightly lower in energy, and honestly, in the Little Cup, a lot of Pokemon will just go down to a single charge move anyway, so you're going to go and fire off the Sludge, and Sludge will get the KO up against the Togetic, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, you can see Shadow Marwell in the lead. A great matchup for us. They're staying in, and they get fully farmed down there by the Mudslap damage. They then come in with the Decidueye. We swap into our Shadow Golem. Unfortunately, they do Astonish farm us down there, but that's okay. We can come in with either Pokemon, actually. I think we should come in with the Cacturn, get the farm down there, and they've got a Nidoqueen in the back, so not ideal for us, but of course, we can come in with the Grimer, go for the Mudslap farm down. There was literally no opportunity for anyone to use any shields in that game, and it was pretty entertaining. Into the next battle, we're going to see a Struggle Bug Shuckle, which is definitely not the right play. We are going to see the opponent goes for a Rock Blast, which does some okay-ish damage. We're going to go for a Mud Bomb here. Unfortunately, because they are running Struggle Bug, there's no such thing as good timing when it comes to throwing our charge moves, as they will get a full fast move in every single time we throw. But either way, we're going to go for another Mud Bomb here. Of course, Sludge is resisted, so whilst Mud Bomb is going to be non-stab, it is still definitely the better move to go for. The opponent does snipe us with a Yamask, which is a nice play, but we can come in with the Cacturn, get the Sucker Punch farm down, and they come back in with this Shuckle, so we can now come in with our Gollet. We can no-shield this. A little bit risky though, just because of course if they got another Pokemon that has some decent fast move pressure, there might be no opportunities to use shields, and there it is, they've got a Dino in the back, so this will be tricky for us. But can we make it to back-to-back Brick Breaks here? We are able to do so, and I think Cacturn is at least close to a charge move. If not, we've already got a charge move loaded, so we should be okay here. And the opponent throws their energy again. No point throwing here. There's no need to do this. We've still got two shields. We can now very easily make it to a Dynamic Punch. Not going to bother hitting a single bubble. Still gets the KO up against the Dino, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, you can see Greninja in the lead, so this is a good matchup for us. Honestly, in the one shield scenario, we actually, did we throw straight away here, or did we just lag and not get off our fast move? It looks like we didn't throw there, but either way, it doesn't matter. We do still get that farm down anyways, which is quite convenient because if they got off another charge move there, then that would have been very unfortunate. But either way, going to go for a Mud Bomb up against the Wooper coming in, and we're able to grab a shield, then swapping into our Gullet, and they've got a Razor Leaf Budgie, so we're going straight for the Shadow Punch here. Shadow Punch should be grabbing a shield. It does grab a shield. And then this might think we come in with our Cacturn. Nope, never mind. Going to come in with our Gullet. Go straight for the Mud Bomb here. Mud Bomb should be enough damage to get the KO. They come back in with the Wooper. We are going to get Mud Shot farmed down, but it doesn't matter. We can just safely use our shield here. Or actually, okay, we should at the last possible second go for the Sucker Punch farm down, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we can see a Shadow Dwebble in the lead, which is pretty cool to see. We are once again going to go straight for Mud Bomb, but the opponent swaps and makes a catch onto Sandygast, but that's absolutely okay. We're going to come in with our Cacturn, get the farm down very quickly, and let's see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent's going to come back in with their Dwebble. We're going to shield this. We should be able to Sucker Punch farm them down. They go for the X-Scissor, which of course would hit for double super effective damage. And we're going to see a Inkay in the back. So we should definitely go for Trailblaze there. There's no point going for Dynamic Punch as they're getting a shield anyways. And we could have boosted up our attack. But I guess we only miss out on one single boosted Sucker Punch. So I guess it's not the end of the world. But if we do lose this narrowly, then we can blame that. But we make a very nice catch there, catching the next Night Slash. And that should win us the game anyways. Although they do boost up their attack, it's not going to help them. We get the Astonish farm down, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, great lead for us. They're probably running Bite, but they're going to swap straight away as they realize we are running Mud Slap. We're going to go straight for the Mud Bomb into Scroopy coming in. We are able to grab a shield here. We're not going to shield this though, which I think is very interesting. And we're going to swap into our Gullet, and at this point we're probably going to have to double shield and then fully farm them down here, because if we do let an Aqua Tail go through, that's pretty much going to one-shot us from this range. I personally would have double shielded, because that way we can come out with 2 charge we've loaded, so if they come back in with the Stunky, which they're very likely to do, then of course we could just go for back-to-back Brick Breaks, but now we are not even able to make it to the Brick Break, and that is very unfortunate. At this point, we're going to come in with our Shadow Cacturn. We should be able to go for a full Sucker Punch farm down, but what do they have in the back? It's going to be a Drifloon, so actually, it doesn't matter as we get the Sucker Punch farm down, and we're able to take that game. And going into possibly the final battle of this video, although there might actually be a few more battles left. These battles are just so fast-paced, it's kind of hard to tell. But either way, we're going to go and shield up the dig from the opponent there, get the full Mud Slap farm down once again, and the opponent's going to come in with a Shuckle, so we can go straight for a Mud Bomb here. Are we going to just let the Grimer go down, or will we swap into our Gullet? We're going to swap into our Gullet, and they've got a Razor Leaf Budgie once again. So once again, go straight for the Shadow Punch here. Shadow Punch should be grabbing a shield, and it does grab a shield from the Budgie. Unfortunately, we don't even get off an extra Astonish, although it's not going to matter too much as we can come in with the Shadow Cacturn, get the Sucker Punch farm down, and of course, just go straight for Trailblaze in this matchup up against the Shuckle. Trailblaze going to boost our attack here, so the opponent is going to no-shield the first one, which does make sense. Honestly, we might make it to another charge move, but I guess the safe play is just to let this go through, and then come in with our Grimer, save a shield for the Grimer, and we should be able to take out the Shuckle, no problem, with just Mud Slap and Mud Bomb. So, get a shield of Rock Blast here, gonna farm up to very close to 100 energy, go for the Mud Bomb number 1, gonna grab a shield, gonna go for 1 extra Mud Slap just because we can, making sure to throw on good timing. Mud Bomb number 2 gets the KO up against the Shuckle, and we're able to take that game. So that's gonna be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.